Hey everybody, welcome back to the Baddie Broadcast. I am your host, Sarah Jane. Thanks for showing up in my corner of the world where we talk about the day-to-day moments that shape you into the baddie that you are. So if you've been following along, you know I've just been under this crazy intense pressure and I've been making these crazy decisions and I'm trying not to control what happens next. And it's been difficult recently. I see myself trying to, I'll go do this, or I'll go do that, or I'm trying to control it. Instead of just continuing to focus on the day-to-day activities that I love to do and my businesses, I feel myself becoming stressed and I feel myself trying to control the how. And it's been really interesting. It's bringing up these deeper emotions in me. So, I think a lot of people don't talk about the actual manifestation journey. And that's really why I wanted to do this podcast, was because I was dead set on, I'm going to change my life for the better. And I'm going to attract some type of miracle that can't be ignored. And I'm going to prove that manifestation is a real thing. Then I end up sick. I quit my job and I'm like, this is the perfect time to do it. But as the pressure increases, as time goes on, I have a certain lifestyle to maintain. And so I feel myself becoming worried. It's like what happens is you get put under this immense amount of pressure. And then all those deep-seated thoughts, feelings, fears, they all get pushed to the top. And if you're not willing to process that and work through those emotions, which a lot of people don't know how to, then you end up trying to control the situation. So I'm in this space right now where 1 second I'm like, I'm just going to go do this and I'm just going to go do that. And I could pick up some part-time work here and keep working on my other businesses, trying to control it. And then there's another part of me that's like, don't do that. Let the opportunity come to you. Whatever happens in the meantime happens. You're going to navigate it with flying colors. And so I'm just kind of at this in-between. I have the left side thoughts and the right side thoughts. I saw myself this morning. I woke up and I was like, all right, I'm just going to go back to bartending for a little bit. Because I used to bartend back in the day. And I have to tell you, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun bartending. I met a lot of really fun people. You're getting your steps in and you're just it's a fun thing. You're up, you're moving, you're bouncing around, and you're not making that type of money really anywhere else. I mean, you're making good money, So I thought about it. I was just go back to bartend 2 or 3 nights a week, But then another part of me was the fact that I even have to say the statement, I'll just go back. I'll just go back to bartend. I'll just go back into doing what I'm familiar with. And I just can't get out of my head that that would be the easy way. That would be the comfortable way. But I don't know that that would be the right way. And ironically, when I started this podcast, I thought I started it to inspire other people. But the truth is, I'm inspiring myself. Sometimes I listen back to my podcast episodes and I'm like, no, you can't give up. You can't control it. You've been talking about how important it is to let go of the how. And I know how important it is. You've been talking about trusting the universe. You've been talking about visualizing more and letting go of the fear. And you need to continue doing that. It's almost like, I have other people watching, but I'm watching. Every episode that I put out, I listen to it first myself. I go on and I'm always the first view. I'm out for my walk and I listen to my own podcast and I giggle and I laugh. And by the end of it, I feel good. you know? And so there's this part of me that, because the time is going on, I do feel a little bit of pressure, but maybe that feeling and those thoughts, maybe they need to be released. Maybe they're deep down inside of me, and it's been prohibiting me from being able to become who I'm trying to become. And so maybe not going back to bartending. Maybe sticking this out. Maybe having no idea how is a good thing to sit in that space for a while. Learn how to trust something bigger than myself again. And it's so much easier to say it than to do it. That's why I wanted to do the podcast, because it was like, yo, I'm gonna tell you guys the exact process. It's not easy. People think manifesting is just this easy, fun. Like, yeah, it is. It's absolutely incredible, especially once the manifestation surfaces. But the in-between spot is dirty. It's a dirty spot. It's hard. You have to become somebody else in order to manifest what you're trying to manifest. You have to match the frequency of the person, place, thing, experience. And then you have to match that frequency even when it's not there yet. And show up undoubtedly day after day after day. And in this world, that's not the easiest thing to do, because you have pressures breathing down your neck, of bills to pay and people to inspire, and most importantly, yourself, right? But I'm just in this space right now where, as you can tell, I want to control it. I feel these feelings of just go out and control what's going to happen next. But then there's this other side of me that is like, don't you dare control this. You're going to block your own blessing. You need to continue doing what you're doing. Breathe, take time to visualize every day, and keep getting clear. A part of me feels like I don't really even know who I want to become, I guess. Like, what does she look like? Who is she? I'm so used to me now, and I keep projecting the now me into the future, but the truth is, $1 Million Sarah is different. She's different than the girl that's sitting here now. She's more healed. She has a higher awareness. She's in alignment with her purpose. It's easy. It's effortless. And right now, I think I'm trying to figure out what that even is. I've been very successful at starting certain businesses on my own. But then I would go back into the matrix. And I would just stop energizing it. And I feel myself trying to do that right now. I'm getting to this space where it's like almost about to manifest probably, right? And now I'm like, all of a sudden I feel confused. All of a sudden I'm like, well, maybe I'll just control it and go back and do this and that in the meantime, and this will be the game plan, and the universe is like, it's up to you. We're going to love you either way, but where are you at? And who are you? Is that something $1 Million Sarah would do? No, it's not. Okay, fuck. It's just so much easier to go back into the chaos. It's so much easier to betray yourself. Than it is to trust something that you can't see. But I've spent my whole life, essentially, as a result of societal conditioning, betraying myself, as many of us have. And I don't want to do that anymore. But at the same time, I'm not totally, I feel like I need some more time to create these two businesses that I have. So what do I do in the meantime? That's what I keep thinking. It's like the goal is going to happen regardless, but what do I do in the meantime? And the idea that the universe would deliver something makes me feel so good. But at the same time, my mind doesn't fully believe that. And look, I'm an avid manifester. Like I'm an advocate for like there's power behind your thought and feeling. But that's my conscious mind speaking to you. My subconscious mind is programmed just like everybody else. Right? So I have levels of conditioning that I have to work through and neurologically rewire. Even though consciously I'm like, no, I believe in manifestation. You don't really know until you're living it out. And that's where the rewiring occurs. And it would just be so much easier to go back into a regular job right now. That would be the easy road. That would be the easy, safe route. Instead, I'm just sitting here like with my thoughts all over the place, like, okay, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. And then it's like, no, this is where you have to recenter yourself. This is where you have to take a deep breath and come back into the original idea. No, this is what's happening. There is no plan B. Plan A is happening. And get clear on that. And I think sometimes the mind tries to fuck you up when you're in that space, because my mind is like confusing me. Like, what am I doing again? Like, what's the goal? What's the outcome? Like, as if I don't know what I'm trying to accomplish. But I think that's a part of the old conditioning trying to keep you, quote unquote, safe. So I'm going to get ready to get up and get outside and get my walk in, because walking helps to clear my mind so much. And I'm just going to call my higher self in and ask for some clarity. I'm going to really get clear on what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to look like in the next 6 months, right? And then I'm just going to continue pulling myself back into that plan. Stop veering off into these avenues that I don't need to be veering off into, and just start investing, continuing to invest my thoughts and feelings in, I already know this is happening because that's what I want to happen, point blank. But man, it's easier said than done, although it is the healing process. You have to choose on the deepest levels, will you continue to betray yourself or not? I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it, but I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't scared. I am. You got shit you got to pay, And so I have to trust, I have to let go of that fear. And that looks like consciously sitting down, breathing, making the conscious choice to let go of the fear and see myself blossoming in some type of majestic way, right? Something beautiful, something that's so recognizable. Like people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. That's what I'm trying to demonstrate here. But through that demonstration, I must tell you the process. And I'm just going to tell you, it's up and down. It's a fucking roller coaster. It's a fucking roller coaster. But I did have a dream the other night about the whole bartending thing. And it's weird because recently I've been on this kick where I'm like, is that a table I should be sitting at or no? That's what I've been saying to myself. Because who you surround yourself with is everything. And I've been removing myself from tables lately. So I've been like really doing this, observational check about the tables I'm quote unquote sitting at. And so I have this dream. I'm at the bar. I'm like, oh, it's super surreal. Like I know the people that work there and everything. So they were all in the dream. It was super surreal. And they were all like, yeah, that's great. Awesome. You're coming back. Like, no problem. And then I get up from the table I'm sitting at for a second and I go over and I talk to somebody. And then I go back over to the table that I was sitting at only a few seconds earlier. And I go to sit down and there's these two other women. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was at the wrong table for a second. And the response from the ladies was awkward. It was just awkward. It wasn't mean. It was just awkward. They just kind of like side-eyed me and like kept going with their conversation. And then I woke up and I remembered being like, is that a table I should be sitting at? And that was just a sign to me almost like backwards is not the option. It's so subtle though. Like The universe will speak to you in such subtle ways. Small, subtle ways. But like, I know in my heart of hearts that's not the right choice. And I have to follow it. But it would be so much easier to just control it and go get a job right now. It'd be so much easier. But I don't want to do that because I want to see what type of miracles I can manifest. At the same time, I know that mentally, if I'm not in the space, I'll block my manifestations. And I feel like that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like in that in-between space where I'm trying to accomplish this and create and manifest and magnetize the next opportunity. But at the same time, I feel like I'm blocking those opportunities because I'm in my head like, maybe I should go back over here instead of just being in that space of faith and trust, right? So as you can imagine, my brain is literally neurologically rewiring itself right now. Every choice that I make to sit back down and recenter myself and go back to there is no plan B because plan A is happening, that's my brain rewiring. That's my body rewiring. That's me becoming $1 Million Sarah. But no one said it would be easy. So, I'm just, hey, that's the whole point of the podcast, was to be vulnerable and be real and raw and be like, this is where we're at. This is the process. This is what it's taking. This is what I want to do. I want to control it. I want to just go out and whatever. But then there's another part of me that is just like, do not do that. I have my next podcast episode to look forward to, and one of these days I know I'm going to be able to hop on and be like, you're not going to believe what happened. And that's the episode I'm looking for. So that's where I'm at. Today's episode, it was definitely, I feel like I'm being real and I'm being raw, but I think that's what people want, right? Like, this shit is real, and we just got to come together and be a little more vulnerable and share with each other the truth about what we're all going through. And some days we have really high up days, right? And some days we have low days, and it's important to express all of them. And it's important to remind everybody that that's a normal thing. It's normal to have your up days and your down days. It's normal to find yourself going back and forth. It's normal to fight for the version of yourself that you're becoming. It's okay to fight for that version. It's normal to fight for that version. In fact, please fight for that higher version of yourself. That's what I'm doing. I'm fighting for $1 Million Sarah right now. I just keep thinking, like, would $1 Million Sarah go back to bartending? Like, no, she wouldn't. That's a waste of time. She's got a clothing brand, and she's got a candle brand, and she's got a studio that she's got to manage. Like, and I have all the foundations of these things built, and it's like, just keep building on them. Don't focus on anything else. Just keep building on them and expect opportunities to come your way to support you building on these criterias in your life. But man, oh man. So anyway, I love you guys. I support you. Thank you so much for loving and supporting me, for allowing me to be vulnerable and share what I'm going through and what I'm testing, if you will, in this space. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for me. It keeps me moving in the right direction. And then head over to my website at sarabundant, sarabundant.com. Subscribe so that you get notified when my book comes out. Speaking of my book, I have another podcast called A Phone Call with Freedom, where I really talk about all the crazy things that I've learned over the last 10 years. I put it in my book, and then I created the podcast to coincide with every chapter of the book. So we always have some fun over there. So if you're interested in this type of stuff, definitely check out that podcast as well. Otherwise, I'm going to, like I said, go for a walk, get my head straight, call my higher self in, pull on the tools that I have, and get clear. There is no plan B because plan A is happening. I am not going to turn my back on myself anymore. I'm just not going to do it. So it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great week. And yeah, I love you guys. I love you so much. I love you. Thank you for being here. I will see you next week when you hop back on for the next Baddie Broadcast.